Hi guys, my name is Rachel and welcome to today's episode of the Stanley Parable. First off, we'll be doing the freedom ending. Now first things first, I have to say, apologies if I sound a bit poorly. I am a bit poorly right now. As you can see by my nose, it's all red and horrible. And I'm having a bad hair day.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So yeah, this is the Stanley Parable and...
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
So yeah, the Stanley Parable is mostly a narrative-driven game, so instead of me conversing with you, I'll be conversing with the narrator. But he has been interrupting me. So yeah, I am suffering from a bit of a cold recently, so if I do sound a bit out of whack, that's the reason. Let's see, he's going to say something in a minute. I know he is.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, you know, it could be Saturday or something. So yeah, I am doing my best to make today's episode much more better than the previous week, because obviously last week was absolutely terrible. I had a terrible stomach ache, but this cold is not going to break me. I'm going to make this episode the greatest episode. Well, better than last week, that's for sure. So I'm going to try my best not to sniff or cough in this video, because I know that will annoy some people. Well, coughing really annoys me. Here we are, the two doors.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Also, apologies for the random skipping in the audio in the game. I was running the recording software and the game obviously at the same time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Hopefully. Yes, I was using the software in the video and the game at the same time, and sometimes my memory gets a bit all mumble jumbled up, but most of it's alright. Get Chris out of the broom closet. I have a brother called Chris, and I found that absolutely hilarious. Let's see. I really love this game so freaking much. The ending that you saw at first, I can't remember what it's called. It's I don't know.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But that ending was the first time I ever saw it, and it was really intentional actually. I was about to make my way out and the door just closed on me. There is something behind that door and the executive bathroom. We'll go look at that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number. 2845.
I know the right number.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
1947.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know, thank you.
Stanley ventured forth into the newly opened passageway.
Let's get this on. There we go. Honestly, I cut the loading times a bit more shorter. It took ages while I was recording. It's a pain. It zips quite quickly, doesn't it?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It
I
was a
feel
stirring
peculiar.
of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Mysterious. Stanley is a bit of a plum. Sorry,
Stanley
skipping.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind
Control Facility. We'll look at the escape route in another video. It's really... Wow. And here is a big secret as well. We'll do that in the secret video. It's awesome, I love this secret.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
No. If he's under mind control, then someone is controlling him to do this.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah, surely someone behind the scenes is controlling him to do this. Or am I? Where are we? 427, that's 200s. That's 300s. 400s, 49. There we are, 427, right there. Camera's right in the corner of the room.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Yeah.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
Sure
that his
is.
emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yes!
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His
Pirate.
own life in
Pirate
someone
down there.
else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
No.
Was it even possible?
I don't know.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Well, yeah, maybe he needs some glasses.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley
this
decided
The
that
Sims?
this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Babla boopy. Yeah. All those emotion controls that The Sims 4. Is this in The Sims team's basement at EA? Are they okay? We don't know. We need to do some research and find what EA's doing. Never be too sure.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
He had won.
Yes.
He had defeated the machine.
Oh my God.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Yes.
Freedom was mere moments away.
Yes.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Oh yes.
Where had his co-workers gone?
Oh, we'll
How
see.
had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
So
what
many.
other mysteries did this strange building hold?
You
But
don't know
as
half of it.
sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I see birds. Oh, but.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And
Stanley was happy. Ah, wasn't that lovely? Ah, I love that. Ah, now that was the freedom ending, like I just said. But yeah, I hope you liked today's episode. I'm going to take my earphones out. Yeah, hope you liked today's episode. Next episode will be the confusion ending. Yes, that is one interesting ending that is in the whole map. Throughout the series, I am trying to look for Stanley, who is doing the Adventure Line mission. By the time we find him, we've already done the Adventure Line. It's kind of like a time paradox. I'll show you when we get there. We'll show you when we get there. It's a bit weird, but not uncomfortably weird. But yeah, so far I've only edited this and the confusion ending, so we'll have to see what will be after that. Yeah, hope you really liked today's episode. Make sure you give it a like, make sure you give it a favourite. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in my next video. I'll talk to you later. Bye 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 bye. What?